Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to Friday Fright Time, where every week I, Connor, along with my trusty sidekicks Kofi and Stu, dissect horror movies from throughout history, tearing our favourite, most memorable moments to pieces. This week we're going back to 2006 because tonight some stupid teenagers must die. Kofi isn't a teenager, but he is stupid and must die, as he's still on dad duty, but don't worry, he will be back in the game soon enough. Anyway, the plot. A group of teens go to an abandoned murder house of a serial killer and perform a seance to awaken some evil spirits which start turning everyone into even worse actors. Let's sink our teeth into 2006's Stupid Teenagers Must Die. How are you doing this week, Stu?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Dubious as to how this is going to go because we've reviewed a lot of shit so far on the show, and this is quite possibly the lowest budget of anything that we've looked at. I couldn't actually find what the budget was, but the poster says zero budget, and to be fair, I actually agree with it.
Like, you just said it was from 2006, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in 2006, phones had cameras that recorded better than this. So I have no idea what they've recorded it on, but it was almost unwatchable.
It's like a Nokia with Snake on it they've just decided to film on.
Yeah, I couldn't work it out. It was awful quality to start with, which immediately put me in a bad mood. So
Yeah.
I was like,
The production quality of the thing, it's so dark. There's so many scenes that you can't even tell what's going on, and then like the colour saturation's that bad that it looks like it's in black and white. It's ridiculous.
it's just fucked, isn't it? The whole film is fucked. It starts off, no real introduction into why they're going into a murder house, they're just there, and it's just straight into a sex scene.
Yeah, it doesn't mess around like.
Yeah, it was just straight in, they're gonna fuck, and I couldn't help but think immediately, if we were cinema sins, we'd immediately add one sin for his tighty whitey pants that he's wearing.
Yeah, these two guys, like, I assume it's like the high school jock and talentless cheerleader. They're in this murder house, right? And it looks like they're sort of planning to have maybe like a party there, because this guy has these tombstones. He's actually pissed off at the quality of the tombstones. He's like, oh, you could have at least got some clean tombstones. It's like, where have you ever seen a clean tombstone? So he decides to take them outside and hose them down to make them cleaner.
I was already confused at this, because my understanding was these two people had gone to an old murder house to have sex. He's basically found a load of murder weapons lying about. There's like knives on the floor everywhere. But then he goes outside and sprays down these tombstones to clean it, which, by the way, these tombstones are light enough that he can just carry around with one hand. After he sprayed them down, he just leaves them outside anyway.
He props it against the stairs, which is where you would never see a tombstone.
Yeah, but I couldn't work out like the entire purpose of this section, because it just made absolutely no sense, and like it didn't need to be there. And then the only like reason that I could figure of for it to be there was the first attempt at like something spooky happening, which was someone stealing the garden hose.
What I learned in this opening segment is the house belonged to...
You learned something. You laughed at me when I said I learned something from Dracula's dog. When I said I learned something, you pissed yourself. Oh, so this thing taught you something, did it?
Oh my god.
What did you learn, Connor?
I learned that this horror house is owned, I think, by a guy called Murder McGee, is what they call him. Murder McGee, right? And the guy's like, who'd be scared of a guy named Murder McGee? It's like, bro, his first name's Murder. Surely that's a fucking giveaway, right?
Why was his, like, do you reckon when he was born, they were like, he doesn't look like a John. What do you reckon? No, he's not a Derek. Murder.
Yeah.
Fucking call the child Murder. Doesn't he suit little Murder? Oh, bless him. I mean, and if it's not his name and it's a nickname, why is he called Murder before he's fucking murdered everyone?
And why, also, if this house has been abandoned for however long, why has it still got running electricity? Who's paying Murder McGee's bills? So
very quickly, there's the first murder happens within the first 7 minutes of this film.
Oh, it's great as well.
It happens in slow-mo, and which was a nice touch. The whole film's like an hour and 10 minutes long. They didn't need to slow-mo anything, but they did.
Yeah.
The person that kills him has a sheet over their head that has no eye holes in it, so They've got fucking good accuracy, or they've done this before.
Well, if it's Murder McGee, obviously he doesn't get a name like Murder McGee for being a shit shot with a knife, does he?
Little Murder McGee. Do you reckon it was baby Murder McGee, or do you reckon it was adult
Imagine
Murder?
that, instead of a quilt, he's got a pillowcase.
It's just a little baby Murder McGee.
Pillowcase and a potato peeler.
Apparently, by stabbing him, it means that his shirt unbuttons itself. Unless, again, Murder McGee's really accurate with a knife and stabbed each of the individual buttons off. Who knows? But
he's like Zorro, do a few and it's just someone's shirt falls off.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, when he dies, the body just sits there making squelching sounds on the floor.
It's really unsettling, isn't it? It's like half a minute of just.
For real, yeah, it's quite a long time before anything happens.
Yeah, and the colour of the blood as well. They can't get the blood looking well enough because the camera's so shit. So it just looks like he's lying on the floor covered in like Worcester sauce or
it
like
looks like that
Bovril.
Billie Eilish video where all the ink comes out of her.
Oh, fire reference, by the way.
We're throwing that in.
What's great as well is after the stabbing happens and he gets ripped away, you get like the title pop up, "Stupid teenagers must die." And then the music that kicks in is like, you know, the Matrix where all the agents are walking about and it's like that early 2000s, like, like the badass. Chuck that over the intro.
Yeah, it's like some, like weird techno.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you noticed through the intro, it was basically like a seizure-inducing intro where they kept flashing up images of the cast like it was subliminal messaging. There was cast members in it. My favourite bit of that entire intro was that someone in the film was called Corey Arsink, which is probably the best bit about the whole film, to be honest.
Arsink?
Yeah, Corey Arsink. Or as the Americans would say it, Arsink.
Ass-sink.
Ass
Did they even
sink.
say a sink? I've never heard an American, put your dishes in the sink. They probably, like, since everything's so simple, they'll probably put it in the dish compartment.
Corey ass dish compartment. Doesn't have the same ring to it as Corey Arse Sink, does
Nah,
it?
it's Corey Arsing, mate. I don't know what that was. It sounded like fucking Del Boy. Alright, geezer, get the fucking Murder McGee out, oi oi.
Tell me what's up with the lesbians. Because when I used to...
These lesbians, oh my god, yeah.
Mate.
Oh, right, so you've got all these kids who now come to Murder McGee's house and they're like, right, guys, we're going to have a seance. And you've got all of the stereotypes there. You've got the goth girl and you've got the guy who's wearing the Michael Jackson Thriller jacket.
Yes, I
There we
nearly...
go.
Do you know what? I nearly did a reference. My Stu special today was nearly just the Thriller video remixed with him in it.
His character name as well is Cain, and he says like, oh, his name's Cain, and one of the guys is like, Cain? Like the biblical murderer?
Tiffany, this is Julie's friend Con.
Kane.
Cain? Like the biblical murderer?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, what? Why is that the first Cain that comes to mind? You would think maybe Cain from like the WWF, but not Cain and Abel, the biblical story.
The lesbians were great. I couldn't work out what was wrong with them because I don't know about you, and I know that I'm a little bit older than you, so maybe when we went to house parties it was different times. But when I used to go to house parties, within 20 minutes someone would be throwing up from Strawpedo in WKDs. There'd be like a girl crying because she was sure that she saw her dead nan in the garden, and there'd be some fucking absolute weapon that would punch a hole in a door for no reason other than trying to act hard. But this party has a goth that's ready to raise the dead and two lesbians that literally just orgasm non-stop. Even when they're walking around, they're just coming. I couldn't work it out.
The way they like get stuck into each other, like the way that they moan as well. They sound like, you know, the seagulls off Finding Nemo, just mine. Oh, it's ridiculous. And these lesbians also, they confuse the fuck out of me. So let's get into the quote plot unquote. The lesbians, so there's a scene where one of them's lying dead in the bedroom and the other lesbian comes in and discovers the body covered in blood and it's like, oh my god, she's dead. And also, by the way, the audio of this film hasn't been equalized properly, so my speakers exploded when she runs out the bedroom screaming. And I watched this quite late at night and it woke my mum up as well. Admitting that I live with parents there, fuck it, you know,
It was because
2020.
you cranked them speakers right up when them lesbians appeared, going, oh.
And so I just told my mum I was watching Finding Nemo. It was no bother, we were all cush. But yeah, like, so we've seen this scene. We've seen the lesbian discover the dead lesbian and get freaked out and scream and shit. But then it turns out that the lesbians were working together to be part of the seance, to be like doing the seance properly. So why have they shown us this scene? This scene doesn't make sense. If the lesbians are working together, why is a live lesbian reacting so like genuinely with no one else around to witness it? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. See, I didn't really even notice that, but what I did notice is when they have the body wrapped up, one of them just goes, maybe we should call the police, and like no one else moves except the one guy with sense, which is the guy with the thriller jacket on.
Yeah.
Just says, I'm getting out of here, and everyone else just remains seated, completely calm on the sofa, and doesn't even give a shit there's a dead body in the corner.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck. They couldn't care less about the whole seance deal as well, because like they're all sitting at the table and the goth chick gets out the Ouija board and Kane's like, oh no, I'm not doing this, man, fuck this shit, like, oh, I did one of these with my boys back in the day and it's like not good, I'm not doing it. And he like has this whole rant and storms out, and then the nerdy guy's just like, he's scared. No shit, mate. He's just absolutely bollocked you for about half a minute.
And then, immediately afterwards, for no reason, the alive lesbian just decides she needs to take her top off. She just randomly goes, I can't handle the blood on my top anymore, and just whips her top off. It's just completely random. No need for it. Just get her tits out.
What did you think of the two Joker characters? Like, you've got like the two guys with long hair.
Type guy.
Yeah, and they come in and they've got like the black cloaks over their head. They look like they're part of the village cult in Hot Fuzz.
I thought it was Ant and Dec.
They wish they were as funny as Ant and Dec.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't particularly take to them. I think that's the whole point, isn't it? But neither did the group in the film. They tied them up, obviously, after assuming they were guilty. Couldn't help but notice the rope that they tied them up with was so slack that they could have just lifted it straight off. They weren't even tied up, but they were, just sitting there.
When they were tied to the chair, the dead lesbian sort of like comes back to life, but we haven't seen it yet as the audience. We've not seen this. So the guys in the chair shout everyone back in. They're like, oh, the killer's here. We saw her. She's alive and she's a ghost. What? She's alive and she's a ghost? How can you be alive and a ghost?
You act like you've never seen an alive ghost before, mate.
Is Feigsschmidt an alive ghost? He fucking walks at the speed of one.
He was pretty much a dead corpse, an alive corpse, wasn't he?
That's what this film was missing. It was missing like a cool like character that we can just annihilate, because everyone just blends together. They haven't got any character, which is funny because I did some research, right? Guy who plays Kane and also the producers of the film and the director all met each other by working in the character department at Disneyland.
When you said a character department, do you mean they used to dress up as Mickey?
Basically, yeah.
Do you mean they were mascots?
Yeah, I can't imagine it was for developing characters. Like, what you meant to say? Are you meant to pull, like, Donald Duck to one side and be like, oh, mate, you're doing a great job, but what you need to do, you need to be a bit more menacing. I think it costs more to get into Disneyland than it costs to make this film, to be honest. You know what, I'm loving Stu. I'm loving how off topic we've gone for how interested we were.
Yeah, because this film bollocks, to be honest. I really enjoy making Unleash the Ghouls episodes, well, most of the time, but this one, I feel like you've ruined a bit of my life, to be honest.
Yeah, boy, you deserve it. You've earned it.
Yeah, we've earned it.
There's no plot to this film. I mean, like, later on in the film, some zombies come into it who apparently come in from the backyard. No idea where they came from or why they're there.
It's Murder McGee's family.
Is it? So I didn't even care enough to know that.
It was his old family that he killed.
Oh, so what are we naming the family members?
Well, it's Mrs. McGee.
Mrs. McGee.
Mr. McGee.
What if it's like Homicide McGee, Arson McGee?
That's it, yeah. His brother Slasher McGee, Rapey McGee.
Rapey McGee?
Why did the police show up? No one's called them.
Wasn't it that we heard there was a bit of a disturbance in this area? It's like, how do you know that? Like, Yeah, this house is in the middle of nowhere.
And Murder McGee and all that are dead, supposedly, so...
They might have been investigating all the unpaid electricity bills.
Yeah, they've been sent by EDF.
It's like we're sending 2 armed cops because the smart meter's looking a bit fucking dodgy.
On that note, so we can get the fuck out of here, I sent you a little clip I made, and to be honest, you'll see by the investment of how long I spent making this clip, of how invested I was in this film.
Before I click on it, I love the whole gimmick, by the way, that, like, we genuinely, even with the shit films, put a lot of thought and attention into them, but with this film, we just lost the will to live.
Mate, I love reviewing these films with you, but I'm a bit annoyed that I wasted an hour and 10 minutes on this.
Right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, ideal. Yes. Oh, our Tony Montana.
You can
Montana
tell.
McGee, isn't it?
It's little Murder Montana.
Murder Montana. Why does that actually sound like a real rapper?
Lil Murder Montana.
In summary, shit acting, shit camera, shit sound effects, shit audio leveling, shit visual effects. Did you notice, by the way, there was some, like, Windows Movie Maker transitions between shots?
I mean, to be fair, we've used Movie Maker in the past for projects.
we know how to use it properly. Oh, so sorry, Disneyland character development crew, you failed us this time. Just stick to your day job, like.
Do you reckon
sorry,
there's
lads.
like a guy right now walking around like as Donald Duck thinking, they made it, I can fucking make it into films as well. Hollywood, here I come.
There's definitely someone walking around as Donald Duck going, I wasted $200 on making that film in 2006.
Do you reckon Kane is Donald Duck? If you listen to this and go to Disneyland, go up to every character and just go, Kane, and see if it's him. One of them will be him, I bet ya. He wouldn't even be Donald though, would he? He'd be some fucking B-Tech mascot, wouldn't he? He'd be like one of the nutcrackers in the parade, wouldn't he? He wouldn't even like. He's not going to be a main character, is he? What's the shittest Disney character you can think of? Like the worst one. Who's the worst Disney character?
Like shittest or just the biggest cunt? Because, like, Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2, guaranteed biggest cunt.
Good shout. Pocahontas, isn't it? She's shit.
Oh, yeah, she's a right wet wipe. Put some real clothes on, you bint, and stop being this...
Oh, no, she's... No, you can't say that.
What? She's going around wearing animal skins, man. I'm an activist against
That's
that.
because traditionally that's what that culture would wear. You can't say, look at your shit clothes. She's quite a shit character, though, isn't she? You know who is a knob?
Who's that?
The guy in Beauty and the Beast. What is
it Gaston?
Or what, do you know what? Cut the fucking chat.
Yeah, we'll cut it there. I tell you what, Ghoul Gang, throw in the comments below who you think the biggest cunt of a Disney character is. This has been Unleash the Ghouls with another Friday Fright Time, and that was some parts of 2006's Stupid Teenagers Must Die.
Don't go and watch it. I've saved you an hour and 10 minutes, but as a thanks, hit the subscribe bell. Oh, damn it, I fucked it up. Hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell to be notified of future episodes, because I just saved you an hour and 10 minutes.